Okay. So we have six people here. Just to get a bit of a sense of perspective. Here they all are. All good men and true. Can I know?
Wow.
So so the base fight is definitely winning today, but we love you anyway. It's great. Thank you very much. Okay, so here is our screen share, and away we go. So we've got a few things to talk around for a bit, and then we're gonna come back to a particular question down the line, and we'll take things as they come, and we'll see how we do. So we've been talking for a very long time now about a guard looking after something for somebody and what to do if the thing disappears, and how the guard can win favors from the owner if the guard could have claimed that something happened that was not his fault. He could do that, and then the owner would walk away penniless. But if instead the guard says, you know what, I'll make good your loss because I feel sorry for you and I don't want you to be out of pocket, and I'm that kind of guy. And in response for that, the owner might say to him, you're a diamond guy, I love you, you're brilliant, thank you very much. Therefore, if it turns out that the thing was stolen, and therefore the thief has to pay double, I will give you that double payment because I'm doing that in recognition of your being a nice guy. That's the bare bones, the basics of what we've been talking about since we started this chapter. And that's all fine. So again, one more time, just to be clear, if the guard could have said something that will get him off free when the thing he's looking after disappears, but instead he chooses to pay to make good its loss, and the owner is happy with that, the owner will gift to the guard the chance of getting a double payment if it turns out that this missing object was stolen and the thief is brought to Beis Din, and he has to pay a double payment. Then the guard will get that double payment given to him by the owner like a tip because he was such a good guy. And when the chips were down, the guard paid up front. That's what we've learned so far. Now, here's a nightmare scenario for you. What if the guard likes this thing very much? Let's say it's no, I want to go for something a bit more prosaic for reasons that become apparent. Let's say it's a it's a it's a bag of apples, all right? It's a bag of apples, Granny Smith, they're worth £1. That was what he had to look after, that's what got lost. But the guard happens to know that in a couple of days' time, there's going to be a shortage of Granny Smiths. He's got inside information that the Granny Smith shipment from wherever it is has disappeared. It's been hijacked by bandits, or it's gone to the bottom of the sea, whatever. So this time next week, this bag of Granny Smiths is going to be worth £2. Oh, wow! And no one else knows. No one else knows this, but he does. So the guard might do this. He'll say, you know what? I'm an honest guy. It's disappeared. Don't know what happened. I woke up one morning. The apples weren't there. I put all the security routines in place. Everything was fine. I got witnesses to say exactly what I did. I've got no idea what happened. They've disappeared. So he says, you know what? He said to the owner, I'll pay you. I'll pay you £1. Because I'm that kind of guy. I don't want to see you short. I'll pay you £1 for those apples. And the owner says, bless your golden heart. I so appreciate that. The owner gets his £1. Next week, the market in Granny Smith goes through the roof. And this bag of apples is now worth £2. And the guard will go to market, flog off the apples for £2, and made £1. He paid £1 last week to shut the owner up. Now he's made £2, £1 clear profit. You pay capital gains, that's okay. That'll be 20p. So 80p.
Rabbi,
Yeah.
I just want to say this is really interesting because that's now the second thing that's like the finance markets. The other thing was really like having an option, and this is having insider information.
There is nothing new, Alan. There is nothing new.
So this, as King Solomon said, what has been will always be. There's nothing new under the sun.
That's right. That's right. You wait to get to the fifth chart to start talking about interest. Oh my goodness, on loans, it's very sophisticated. So
Yeah,
this is the scenario I'm going to deal with now. I'll just have a look. Okay. Who always did off stage 6? They never had to deal with this. Yeah.
That the guard was a rubbish guard. No, he wasn't.
No, he's a thief.
He's a thief. Yes, and he was a rubbish guard because they weren't being able to lock his eyes.
Very good. Very good.
Well, okay, if you get to the core of the answer,
So,
the he should be paying double for the.
yeah, he's a thief.
Based on the, I don't know, it's based on the £1 or the £2, because he's a Ganef.
He's a Ganef. He's a Ganef. Yeah, but the problem is, we don't. In practice, what's happened is he stuck these apples in his fridge, and you can't see them. No one from the base is going to march into his kitchen and have a look in his fridge. They're going to bother with that. So he's going to say, I don't know what happened, but I don't want to see you short. I'll give you £1. And he knows next week this house is going to be worth £2.
Isn't if he is found out, and it's very useful.
Achave.
Yes, but isn't there, according on the basis, a penalty, besides him having to pay?
Oh my goodness, he'd lose his standing. He's a liar. He's a perjurer. Yeah, he'd be in terrible trouble. But we're not getting that far. I'm just looking.
They will put this around that he is.
Absolutely, but we're not at that stage yet. We're doing very simply just this. It's the usual carvel cutouts, you know. So
the question is, if I put down to the answer, is that the question?
We're not even going that far. We're not even going that far.
You have to give a stop.
We're not looking that far either. The question is, how do we stop the guard doing this? Whenever any guard says it disappeared, I don't know what happened. Honest to God, but I'll pay you back. I'll give you the money. How do we know? Maybe the guard is an insider trader.
You don't know. You don't know.
So how are we going to stop it happening?
It comes to reputation. Yeah.
Well, the guard might take a chance.
If he's done this before, has he done it before or not?
I don't know. I don't know the guy from Adam.
Okay, so if he does and gets found out, he's finished.
You're right, but he's going to take a chance. He's a chancer. He likes a bit of money.
Okay.
I mean, we could be talking about £1 million rather than £1, you know, and
It's the principle.
yes, 80p profit.
Is this Rick thing we're going to be talking about?
Absolutely. And that's what I ever do. This is dim to the nth degree.
The answer is that as a coda to what we've already learned,
Yeah.
we then put in the word but and say something along the lines of, this is not going to be very eloquent, but if the guard should then make what I would call a secret profit,
Yeah.
he's liable to account.
Absolutely. But we're not even talking about that. We're not going that far. We're just saying, how do we stop the guard doing this? We need to have.
Saying the but.
You can't.
Well, because that would happen, but maybe the guard's going to take a chance. No one's going to find me out. Pardon?
You've got to choose somebody who you trust.
You know, Sheikh Abba says in the Torah, the bribery will guard the most clear-sighted person. So how? Absolutely, but the problem is you got to if you're going to, if I'm going away for a week, I'll leave my precious Granny Smith with somebody. I got to find somebody to deal with them. I can't just leave them forever and ever. What am I going to do? So I've got to find some way of sorting this out. What will I do? How will I have some mechanism in place in the legal process to stop guards spinning a yarn and making some money? You know, any guard could do this. And whenever any guard looks after anything, temptation comes their way. Because if this thing that they have is now looking to be going up in value, what are you going to do?
So, Rabbi,
Yeah.
in life, I mean, at some point you have to trust people. I mean, to put some type of procedure in place to stop that, I would say it's virtually impossible to cover every single possible scenario that could ever happen.
You're right, but let's see what we can do. This is the art of the possible.
But I would tell you, Alan, that Alan,
Colin, hello.
Hello there. Sorry for being a bit late.
That's all right.
Sorry there. Alan, I would say, you know, there is an old saying that I use quite frequently in business, And if you want loyalty, buy a dog. For everything else, get a contract. You know,
Very true.
that way it's clear. It's clear. It's just, and I think that's what we're trying to learn.
Honey, what if
If I can tell, if I'm allowed to tell a story very, very quickly, I was training risk in Dubai about 10 years ago when I worked for HSBC, and it was a risk management course. And one of the very senior guys in Dubai stood up and said, I think this is an absolutely shocking course. I can't believe you need to have these procedures and controls in place. Why don't you just trust me? And I turned around and said, trust is not a control. But it's irrespective of who you are, we have to have proper procedures in place to make sure that you keep to the rules, because anything could be going on in your life that we don't know about that could be prejudicing your situation.
Absolutely.
So I completely agree with Colin.
Well, I agree. My contract, by the way, Rabbi, I'm talking about a contract, not necessarily in the terms of contract. Our contract is with, halachic law, or doesn't have to be a contract with a lawyer under UK law. I'm talking about halachic law. So therefore, surely that's the basis of what we're talking about. That there is a contract with the Torah. And we're trying to decipher it.
The problem is that there should be a contract, but again, we're back to the dog and duck. A very loyal dog. I hasten to add. But if they have come to this agreement about looking at the bag of apples in the dog and duck, there's no contract. They're just sitting there in the pub and making an agreement over a pint. And again, our poor weary basting have to sort this out. It's not easy. So. But you're entirely right. We don't like to put temptation people's way. We like to have a system that is as foolproof as possible within reason. And as Alan says, we can't do it 100%. As Colin says, if you want loyalty, buy a dog. And we're not talking about that. He would talk about people and
a donkey, or a donkey, of course.
Or a donkey. A donkey will eat the apples. That'd be even worse.
Absolutely, it's true. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
So what we're going to do? So the Gemara says we're on to this one. We have an answer. All right. What we're going to do? Here we are. So Rav Huna got this one. So we are on 34b, and we are many, many lines down. Just a second. We're a lot of lines down, but that's not much help. Let's find the landmark for us all. Yeah, so you'll see toward about halfway down the page, the last line on the last word on the line on the left-hand side is Omar with the star next to it. About halfway down the page, the left-hand word. You two have got come on.
You look cold again, Alan.
It is freezing out here. I like being outside. I don't like being in the office when I do it. I like being in the park. My head is clearer.
Where is your office?
Farringdon, 2 to 7 Clerkenwell Green, just behind Farringdon Station.
Oh, okay. Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
I suggest you go down to the dog and duck.
How are you feeling, Colin? Feeling a
Yeah,
bit
I'm good, thanks.
better?
Yeah, I'm away tomorrow. I'm off to LA tomorrow.
Oh,
Working.
magical.
Well, no, it's working there, and then I'm going to Mexico for a few days, and then I'll go to my house in Miami.
Oh, magical. Beautiful.
Well,
have an amazing time.
Thank you.
Alan, you remind me of the Shagas Aryeh, which is a commentary on the Gemara, written by a rabbi who was so poor, he lived somewhere in Russia, that he wrote the commentary in bed, because that way he could keep the inkwell next to him under the covers, and the ink wouldn't freeze. It was that cold. He was. So Alan, you got it easy there. Nice warm Farringdon. I don't know.
It's honestly, it's absolutely lovely. It's very fresh. I like being in the park. I don't like being in the office because my head's clearer when I'm outside.
Absolutely. It's the Garden of Eden if you're learning Torah. Absolutely. Okay.
Oh, love it.
Here we go. Amar Rav Huna. Rav Huna said, Mashbi'in Isai Shavua She'ena B'Shusay. When the God claims that the thing isn't there and he's prepared to pay up, we make him make an oath that the object is no longer in his possession. This is your answer, Alan. This is what we can do to put that control in place. Because we all know that when somebody had to make a shavua, an oath, in a basting, that the whole procedure to remind them of the tremendous gravity of the situation, of how severe the punishment is for somebody who says an oath in vain or falsely. So this is what we have to do as a matter of course when the guard wants to claim this, he has to make an oath. So it's not enough to say, it's disappeared, I'll pay you off. We make him make an oath. If he says it's disappeared and he wants to pay it off, and only then can he pay the money. There you go. That's what Rav Huna said. He said, this is a standard procedure. Going back to the time of the Mishnah, I maintain this is always the case. It's a sort of overlay on every Mishnah. That's what you've got to do.
Yes, exactly.
On the other hand,
Exactly.
Well,
Yes.
so the question on this is going to be right at the bottom of this page over to the next page. It's a difficult question. So we're going to have to get that far. All right. But as I say, at the moment, we have the luxury of going slowly. I just want to get the principle clear. And I think Kanai and I have done that. So the rule is, if a guard claims that the thing has disappeared and he wants to pay the owner back so that he can get the double payment, whatever it is, we make him make an oath because we suspect that he's an insider trader and that he wants to hold on to it till a time he can make a profit. Or maybe it's a picture, just likes to look at it and keep it in his back room where nobody will see it. And there's that lovely picture. And I effectively bought it off the owner. So his conscience will be clear because he paid the money back. But no, the owner wants this thing. And
Rabbi,
yeah.
can I ask you a question? Let's say he makes the oath in good faith, not knowing at the time, at that exact moment, the value of the apples is going to double or treble.
Yeah.
But he makes the oath in good faith. And then afterwards, once he's made the oath in good faith, something happens to the apple harvest and those apples become worth double or treble.
Listen, if he makes the oath, that means that the apples aren't there. As far as he's concerned, if he made the oath in good faith, he doesn't know where they are. And if he then discovers that they're actually in his, let's say he can't find them anywhere, then, oh my goodness, I put them in my fridge. Honestly, things I do nowadays. So then if he made that oath, he hasn't got the apples, then he finds them in the fridge. He's done a grievous thing by making a false oath. Unwittingly, he was careless and he's got to return those apples PDQ. They're not his apples. They belong to the guard. They belong to the owner. He's a guard. They're not his. He can't keep them. He's looking after them. You can't look after them and keep it. Okay, so that's what Hannah said. Now, we're now going to change the subject for a long while. Bear with me on this. We're going to bring it back in about 2 weeks' time, or maybe 2025. We'll have to wait and see. We've got a lot to do now just to get around to our question, and we're going to change the subject. Okay? We're going to talk about a loan and a pledge, collateral. All right? Now, let's have a bit of fun. So Michael and I are good mates, and I'm a bit harder. So I say to Michael, can you lend me do me a solid, lend me £1,000. I'll pay you back, honest. Next month we're down the dog and dog again. people on the next table talking about a bag of apples. We're talking big with a high rollers here, big money over the jukebox.
Rabbi,
Yeah.
do you mind me saying, for someone that doesn't drink, you don't have to spend a lot of time in a pub.
I'm there all day. Get myself sober, especially for this. Really bad. Okay, I only half money.
I know if you need a brand,
Yeah.
Holly would make sure a piano was.
Piano. That'd be brilliant. It's not that kind of grand I'm interested in, believe me. Okay.
Absolutely.
It's the 2:30 at Doncaster tomorrow afternoon. I got a dead set.
Inside
Lucky lad. Look at he's gonna romp home. He's romping home. Lucky lad, the 2:30 at Doncaster. Watch out. Okay, so I say to Michael, lend me £1,000. And Michael, he knows my reputation is he's not very happy with this. So he says, it's a risk. I might just spend, I don't say a word, but full well it's about the 2:30 tomorrow. You know what's going on. So I've been talking about it. It's in the papers. It's a big race. So you want collateral. You say, I've got to give you something to look after. And if I default on my loan, you're already holding the repayment. So you've got that cover. You're safe. And if I lose my collateral, it's my problem. In here, it's called a mashkan, which is a pledge or a collateral. So I say to you, okay, I've got a fridge in my kitchen, a beautiful fridge freezer, beautiful. I'll deliver it round to your home this afternoon, and then you can have that as collateral. I'll empty it out. I'll empty it out. And it's in perfect working order. You can see that the shelving's a bit, the pull-out door's a bit iffy, but never mind that. Still worth a lot of money. And so you'll have your cover. And if Lucky Lad fails to come home, then you got your repayment already. And we agree. Great. So Michael this afternoon here's a curious bumping sound outside his front door. It's me dragging the fridge bodily to his home along the pavement, but it's okay. And I deposit this whopping fridge freezer in your hallway, and I say, there you go, and you give me the £1,000. Great. Now then, Lucky Lad won. I'm flush with money. I'm really happy. So I come to Michael and I said, I need to repay you. And I want that pledge back. So Michael's, actually, I'm sorry, hold on just a second. Just a second. And I'm sorry, Lucky Lad lost. So Lucky Lad, his leg fell off. His Achim Day, he didn't even start, didn't get out the trap. Lucky Lad is lost. So I'm skint. And
or as my father overshadowed would say, it was in dread.
In dread, that's it, yeah, absolutely, in dread. So I say to Michael, I'll get the money together. But can I have my fridge back? So but then it gets worse. It could have all sorts of complications. So I say, fine, keep the fridge. And you say, wait a minute. I looked it up on eBay. This fridge is worth 20 quid. £1,000. You may have bought it for 1,000, but it's 20. I'm talking real. It's 15 years old. I think about our fridge in our kitchen. It's very old. It's had an awful lot of use. I say the pull-out drawers aren't brilliant. If you get £100 for it for parts, you're doing very well. And I say, what do you mean? It's an antique, 1,500 minimum. So now we have a dispute about the fridge. And then what? Then you say, so fine, take the fridge back. And we go to your home, and the fridge is gone.
Oh.
So now I say, that's a disgrace. You've cost me my £1,500 fridge. And granted, I owe you 1,000, but you owe me 500 because I gave you 1,500 for that fridge. And you say, no, that fridge was worth tuppence halfpenny. So you owe me £999, 97.5p. And I say, that's a disgrace. And we go to Basting. And there's all sorts of variations along this theme. So what do we do?
First of all, it must be the obligation of the person taking the pledge to be satisfied that the value of the pledge meets the amount of the loan.
Dog and duck.
No.
No.
That's exactly what I'm saying. I don't want this bad mind.
I remind you, Michael and I were in the dog and duck, and we were not both, with respect, we were both not quite in our right minds. We thought it's fine. It's about right. It's about £1,000 fridge freezer. It's about right. It's fine. And now look. Well, but the Basting has as well. We've got a monetary dispute. Yeah. Well, Michael was merry. I was blotter.
Whatever, but he would have known if you've agreed the price. Well, you'll be silly.
Well, we don't know. We never thought it would come to this. The plan was that Lucky Lad would win. I'd pin Michael back. I'd get the fridge freezer back to my kitchen. Everything would be fine. In fact, in practice, it's all gone wrong. Lucky Lad lost. It's terrible. I never would have thought it.
But you would know that's a risk.
Well, with the pint of size in my hand, it's all going great. Nothing could possibly go wrong.
That actually happened, not your specific case. Oh, right. Yeah. There was a horse called the Bava Metsia boy.
Yeah, that's
all
right.
the Yidden used to, even if it was never going to win, everybody used to put money up with it.
13th.
How many years ago?
Sorry?
The mitzvah boy came 13th.
13th. Oh, 613. So here's what the Gemara is going to deal with now. And we're going to bring a Bryce which talks about this at length in all different combinations. And then we're going to come back to our utterance from Rav Huna to our bag of apples. Okay? But let's go into this first. I think we probably won't finish this week.
Could I challenge everybody then? This is totally separate, but exactly the same. Well, that's one now. In Sunderland, in the old days, they had double-decker buses with an opening at the back.
Yes.
So if you were upstairs and the conductor was downstairs, and the conductor didn't manage to come up, so you would get off the bus, and he wouldn't have been conducted. Now, in Sunderland, they have what was called an honesty box on the platform, and the idea was that you put the money in.
Yeah.
Now, I asked in Liverpool when I was teaching there, nobody even heard of it. Has anybody ever heard of that?
Yeah, well, I've seen it around in the countryside. You get like produce left by the side of the
This
road.
is all the corporation buses.
That's amazing. That's well,
And
Colin Watson.
people basically
And it
put the
works.
money in. It
Well,
worked.
good luck to the people of Sunderland. Colin Watson.
Not what's happened since then, but
Unfortunately, it's not always the way. But Colin
Then
Watson.
Ghana comes down and says.
No, no,
And puts their hand in it.
it's only locked.
Oh,
It
Ah.
could only be unlocked at the bus station. And you put your money in, and it was
Yeah,
automatically
yeah,
accepted.
Yeah, Colin
The
Watson.
same as you say, in the countryside, people have honey or whatever, but the flogging, and you just put the money.
you were the only one who ever did it.
I don't think so.
No, it's Colin Watson. It's a great
Because
thing.
then you
Okay.
come to your community. Because if you can't trust them, what's the point of our initiative or anything?
Well, unfortunately, with the basin has to have reasonable checks and balances in place because we have to protect people in business. And when and people, unfortunately, people in business can turn very nasty.
Oh.
They can seem all fine and dandy when their pockets at stake.
Oh,
All sorts of and the Gemara actually says there are 3 ways that you can know what somebody's really like. Because is what they're like when they're drunk, which is funny. I thought about. Bekisa is how they are with things to do with their money. Bekasa is when they're angry. You know, one of my kids said to me that he got angry with his roommate in yeshiva, but he did it in a very listy way. He said, "I'm really not happy about this." That was the extent of his fury. You know, so that's I took as a compliment. Okay, so let's look at this price and we'll see how it is. So now you see we said Omar. We are now 1, 2, 3 lines below where it said Omar, and it's Mesibe at the beginning. Like Reverend Levi, I'm afraid I'll have to crave your indulgence a bit further if you don't mind. Thank you for being so gracious about not having a text. I appreciate it.
It's like I'm following it right.
No, brilliant. Okay, thank you very much. Mesibe. So go on, ask a question from a brisa, and you'll see it says Hamalve in the middle of the line with a star and a gimel right next to it. Just like for the gentleman over there, just to be safe. Yeah, you got it there. You got it there. We're all brilliant. We're all on side. Excellent. Okay. Reverend, you're going to tell us about Okay. Now then, here we go. And again, we don't yet know what the point of this is, but we will find out in due course. Hamava is chaver ala mashkan. If somebody lends his friend money with a pledge, with a mashkan, the pledge, that's the fridge. V'avaka mashkan, and the fridge gets lost. I'll give you a simpler case. The loan wasn't falling due for another year, and or let's say next week. So Michael and I agree. He'll lend me $1,000. I'll pay him back a week today. The following morning, I say to Michael, "How's my fridge?" He says, "I don't. It's gone." I say, "What do you mean it's gone? It's gone." So now everything's gone to pot, and what we're going to do? I want my pledge back, but it's disappeared. He doesn't know where it is. What are we going to do? So
Sales has gone cold.
it's a freeze.
Oh.
But we're going to have a rather fun.
You keep cool.
That's right. We're going to have rather frosty things there. Okay. But and he said to him, so Michael says to me, he lent me a seller, which is a big coin. Shekel hayashove. This fridge was useless, tough as halfpenny. So in our money, Michael claims that although he lent me £1,000, this fridge is worth 20 quid for scrap. It's rubbish. It's a lot of old junk. And the borrower says, Laiki, you lent me a seller. It was worth £1,000. What do you mean? You're saying insulting about my fridge. How dare you? I think I'd cheat you on a pledge? No, it's my best fridge freezer. The only one I got. I got a gaping hole in my kitchen now, and I gave it to you, and you cast this business. And no, it's disappeared. I'm not happy. Oh my goodness, I'm furious. So I want my pledge back. I want my fridge freezer back. And you know what? I say, furthermore, now we're quits because you lent me £1,000. I give you a pledge worth £1,000. Now you've lost the pledge. We're even. You gave me 1,000. You owe me 1,000 because you lost that fridge freezer. So that's all right.
You're saying I'm in seller.
Yeah, yes, I am. I'm saying I no longer owe you a penny. That's it. Goodbye. And Michael says, no, that fridge was worth next to nothing.
But to my mind,
Yeah.
in reality, why would somebody take such a article in exchange when he looks at it and says, this is nowhere near £1,000?
Well, again, it's the dog and duck. They're down the pub and they don't know what they're doing. They're not thinking straight because people don't. They make all sorts of slapdash against. We come across this again and again. The poor basin was they're driven mad by it. People make slapdash arrangements. They don't check it out. They don't think it'll come to that, and then it does.
So this dog and duck must have been in hell, not in heaven.
Whenever you like. It's a very, very well frequented pub, I'll tell you that much.
But what about, I'm going to sit there and I'm going to say, Rabbi, I'm going to say, well, look, I knew that the fridge, to be honest with you, it wasn't worth £1,000, but I wanted to help you. You needed the money. So I gave you the money. In all honesty, you know, really, if I lent you 1,000, I should have taken collateral worth 3,000, but I didn't because it's a bit of trust involved here. So because there's trust involved here, and now you're saying to me, it's really come to it. I was trying to help you in the first place. So, you know, the value of it is sort of questionable. Let's open the question of the value again.
You know, if as a wise friend once said to me, if you want trust, buy a dog.
Ah, now.
No, I don't care about trust. Trust in your head. No, you had my fridge. I claim it was worth £1,000. I owed you £1,000. Now you owe me £1,000, and I owe you £1,000. We'll call it the day, and that's it. I mean, high dudgeon. And Michael says, no, that fridge was worth the shekel. It was worth 20 quid for parts. You just about leave it on your driveway with a bit of luck. People would rip out the engine and take it away, the motor. So in practice, says Michael, I owe him £980. So we go to Basting over this. So you're all right. They should have set this up properly. They should have had a contract, should have a proper independent valuation of this fridge freezer as collateral. But they didn't, because they're idiots. And now the base had to work out what to do. Hopefully they're dying, hey? So here we are. What do we do? So the Brisa talks about it. Potter. The borrower is exempt. I don't have to pay you a penny, Michael. That's it. My claim wins because you are claiming money from me. You're claiming £1,000. I deny owing you any money at all. And the rule is, if somebody marches, somebody without a contract, without witnesses, marches me to Basting and says, you owe me £1,000, and I say, no, I don't. That's the end of the case. I'll bring me the proof. Absolutely. I was just going to say, if you want to get money out of me, you have to prove it. I have a story that says that I paid Michael back effectively with that fridge. If he then goes and loses it, I'm sorry, that's not on me, that's on him. So be more careful. So if the fridge disappears, we know not where, and you know, I claim that's repayment for that money. I deny owing Michael money altogether. That's no different. Somebody pitching up one day on my doorstep, claiming I own money, dragging me to Basting, no proof, no witnesses, no document, no nothing. He can leave me alone. No, I can't just pay money. I'm not made to pay money with no proof. Absolutely not. So the Brisa says, if Michael claims that fridge freezer was worth next to nothing, and I claim it was worth the full repayment of his loan to me, I win. Goodbye.
But I say more fool to the person that's taking collateral.
You're right. They're idiots. They're idiots. They're idiots. They shouldn't, but they did. That's what happened.
But no, with respect, looking into the real sense, real world. And so we talked about last week when the diamond merchants would do Masal Bracha. No document whatsoever, all the and that was it. And it was 100%.
Yeah, well,
otherwise it's failed.
Good luck to it. Good luck to it. But
That's the they were finished. Yeah.
but again, that's not a din situation. We're talking din. Good luck to him. Good luck to him.
hurry up, Nicodemus.
That's it, that's happened.
Yes.
And
It's
the
going
students
into
will,
it.
but
I warned the kids I'm doing with school.
No,
That's not a joke.
there been such cases and they're basically required to get.
It happened in
which-
Israel
yeah.
about 15, 20, 30 years
Oh,
ago.
it-
They were playing around. They had AD. They had AA.
Yeah.
That's it.
They had
Yeah,
a student do it somewhere in England. I used to tell the kids that we were doing these things, and they went through it, and that was it.
Yeah, and then they had to have a
Yes,
get.
yes.
The girl can no longer marry Cohen.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, it's serious. So don't mess about. Absolutely. So that's one case. But our Bryce is not yet done. There's more where this came from. Now then,
Rabbi, just a small question. When you say Harayat Mekudesh, there's got to be a witness.
yeah. But there can be witnesses. People can. There can be
They
witnesses.
thought it would be a good idea for a student.
Yeah, but what you said, I had no idea what it meant this.
Well,
I wouldn't
no,
have said it if I
no.
knew that.
Devarim should believe in and Devarim. We still have a principle that if you say one thing and mean another in basting, we go with what you say. If you say, well, I meant this, that. No. I'm sorry. Well, it's more than that. The aim the diner and the road. The diner has what he sees and hears. You can't say, well, I meant something. I mean, with Nadarim, there's certain things you can. With Korbanos, you can. But with legal situations such as this, where it involves somebody else, what you say is what counts. And if you think something else, too bad. No, that's what you said. So Achim Vei. All right. So next case.
Somebody said that I really would.
Well, if they both agree, then fine. Then I suggest they go and talk to their parents about it. Then they got married on a bus. Okay, fine, good. Rachel would not be best pleased if that happened to one of my kids. Okay, all our daughters are gone, so that's fine. Now, next case. Selah v'sicha alav. You'll see at the end of a line it says Selah with a little dalid next to it. Bit further down on the left there. The last word on line has a dalid. Selah v'sicha alav sheker hayashava. If Michael says to me that he lent me a seller, and the thing that I gave him was worth a shekel, so that's the case with the freezer. But I say no. I don't say the fridge freezer was worth £1,000. I say it's worth about 800. I say, you know what? I'm a reasonable guy, and I'll be straight up with you. Like I said, the pull-out drawers, they're not brilliant. They're a bit rickety.